because I believe we have Don Daler up now, and I want to make sure that we do. Can you just tell me in my ear? Yes, Don, we see you there down at the scene. And as we said, we are hearing reports of additional survivors. Can you tell us anything more?
That's right. Well, you remember back at Oklahoma City when little bits of good news started to trickle in as time went by. That's the case now. We have the report that there have been 6 survivors pulled out, one of whom is a Port Authority police officer named Jay McLaughlin. He has been taken to the hospital. The Port Authority police wanted us to announce that so that his family would know that he is okay. That's one individual we know about. In addition to that, there were 5 firemen recovered from the World Trade Center alive and taken to the hospital. I have with me here Fireman Bill Duty. Now, why is it that do you believe that they were able to survive such a horrendous accident?
Well, they were fortunate enough to fall into a void. When the building fell, there must have been a part of the structure that kind of surrounded them and protected them from the falling debris. So when the debris fell on the side, they were in an air pocket, and they just stayed there until help arrived. I don't know what company they were from, but there were 5 firefighters and 1 officer, so 6 men.
Were they badly injured?
I don't know how the injuries were, but I know they got them out. So,
does this give you hope that there will be other survivors being pulled out?
oh, absolutely. I have a lot of hope, especially for people that were below grade, because there's a lot of voids down there. The building, the first few floors, is kind of still intact. So I'm hoping that most people under grade, well, there might be a lot of voids, but unfortunately, most people that were above the first few floors, very little hope, as far as I know.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I just wanted to add one thing, Charlie. As we were walking through this massive debris field a little bit earlier, one of the things that struck me was it is a huge debris field, but for the size of those buildings, it really didn't seem like it would be that size. You would think it was much, much larger than that until you realize that there are parts of the World Trade Center all around us. The building was literally pulverized. There is a fine dust for miles around this area, and that is why that it's not just one big pile there that you would imagine. You can only get an idea of how huge these buildings were if you stood in their shadow before this happened.
Yes, and another point that I think needs to be made, and we'll find out more about that, is we learned at the time of the World Trade Center bombing in 1993, there are, you know, those buildings went way down. Actually, they went 70 feet into bedrock. There were garages below, and obviously there's going to be a lot of sunken debris as well. But the pile of debris, 5, 6 stories high. And as Mayor Giuliani said, it is going to be weeks, maybe even months before they've gone through all of it.
I think I mentioned last night that when I went down there, you can hear a groan from the still standing parts of the buildings. It's an actual sound almost